Hi, I'm Taylor Rowan. Today we're going to show you how to load a 20-foot tool container onto our 35-foot tilt bed trailer. Once that's on, we're going to load a Series 12 prop onto the back of it. Let's get going. All right, so the first step here is backing your trailer up so that it's in line with the container that you're going to be picking up. One of the indicators in how we do this is we use this center channel as we're backing up and line it up with the center gasket of our container. Once you've done that, you're pretty close to where you need to be. We'll stop about 24 inches off of the container, and then we'll verify that our lower corner casting is inside of this outside rail of the trailer. Let's go over the controls of our 35-foot tilt trailer. So when we open our box, the first thing we're going to come across is our remote for our winch. This plugs into the top of the winch at the front of the trailer. We secondly have our controls for our tilt trailer. This controls your up, your down, and your gravity down. Okay, now that our trailer is lined up with our container, it's crucial that we remember to extend our cable all the way out to the end of the trailer before we start the loading process of the container. Now that our cable is extended all the way out, we want to make sure that it stays in the center track. We then walk it around to the back and clip it underneath our trailer. Our next step in the load process is extending our extension arms off the back of the trailer. To do that, we unpin it, bring it out to the desired position, repin it, and then repeat the same on the other side. So a quick checklist before we tilt the trailer up is we've now lined up with the container, our cable is extended all the way to the back and hooked on the bottom, and our extension arms are pulled all the way out and pinned into place. Now that that's done, we're going to start the tilting of our trailer. When tilting your trailer up, you want to stop just before your extension arms touch the ground. Once you're in the set position, we're going to back the trailer up so the extension arms go into the front pockets on the container or the prop. It's okay in this situation for the trailer to barely tap the front of your corner casting. So now that our extension arms are in the front of the container, we're going to start taking the trailer down so that we lift the front of the container up in the air. Once that happens and we're about 12 to 16 inches off the ground, we're going to put blocks under the front of the container. All right, so our blocks are now underneath the container. The next step is going to be lifting the trailer up in the air, which is going to lower the back of this. The goal will be to get these corner castings on the container above the deck height of the trailer. That way we can back underneath the container itself. So now that the container is resting fully onto the blocks itself and the corner castings are above the deck height, we're going to back the trailer underneath so that the corner castings are resting on the back of the trailer. All right, so now that the corner castings are on the back end of the trailer, we're now going to start lowering the front of the trailer so that it lifts off our blocks. Once it lifts off our blocks, we'll pull them out on both sides and stop when it's about 12 to 16 inches off the ground. All right, so the container is now fully resting on the back of the trailer. The blocks are out. The next step is raising the front of the trailer a little bit so that the extension arms are just about an inch or two off the ground. And then from there, it's just backing underneath the container as far as you can until it's time to winch it up. So we've fully backed underneath the container now. We got about 1 foot to 1.5 foot hanging off the back. So we're going to go ahead and lower the front of the trailer and winch it on the rest of the way. It's crucial that when we're winching this up, we get the container all the way forward on the trailer so that our casting locks are able to go into all the corner castings. To do that, we have it in the vertical position and lock it into place. We repeat the process then on the other 3. Okay, so now our 20-foot container is fully on the trailer. We have our casting locks into place. It's now time to load our prop on the back. To do this, we need to make sure we have the D-ring installed in the front receiver. So the load process for the prop is very close to the same process as the 20-foot container. We're going to tilt this trailer up in the air with our extension arms out. Again, keeping them about 1 inch off the ground. We're going to back into the fork pockets on the front of the prop, and we're going to lift it up in the air, block it, and back underneath it. Now that we have the prop on the rear of the trailer and the blocks out, we're going to put our spacer arms into the front receivers of the prop. This is going to allow for perfect spacing. Once it gets up onto the trailer, it'll stop on the 20-footer so that we can put our corner casting locks in the front of the prop. All right, so we've backed underneath the prop a majority of the way. We have the spacer arms in. The next step is going to be unhooking the winch from the rear of the 20-foot container and hooking it onto the front of the prop. Once we've completed this, we're going to flatten the trailer back out and pull the prop the rest of the way up. All right, so our last process here is winching our prop the rest of the way up to touch the rear of the 20-foot container. Our spacer arms are in. It's crucial we have 2 people, someone that can tell the front person operating the winch to stop. Our prop's now pulled all the way forward, and the spacer arms are touching the 20-foot container in front of it. Once that happens, we can now put our caster locks into the corner castings and lock them down. Now, these are made for the front 2 casters of the prop. On the back side, we're actually going to use binders to lock down the rear corner castings. So let's go through the unload process real quick. When we're unloading, it's going to be key that our extension arms in the back of the trailer are pushed all the way in. With those pushed all the way in, it's going to allow the trailer to tilt up much higher. So once we get to our destination, the first thing we want to do is, before we remove the prop, we're going to take our corner casting locks out. We're going to remove our rear chain binders. And we're going to make sure that we unclip our winch cable. After we've done that, we're going to do a full tilt on this trailer. The prop should naturally start to come off the back. If it doesn't, sometimes we do have to do a little brake check on it to get it to start moving. After it's moved back about 1 foot, we want to make sure that we come up front and we remove the spacer arms. Once the spacer arms are removed, we can continue to drive out from underneath the prop and let it set down on the ground. So once we have the prop off the back, it's now time to remove the 20-foot container. We want to bring our trailer back down to close to level again. We'll remove our corner casting locks at that time. We want to get far enough away from the prop so that when it starts to come down the trailer, it doesn't hit it. We'll pull forward and then we'll lift our whole trailer up. At that point, this front container is going to free slide down the back of the trailer, touch down on the ground, and then you pull out from underneath it. For more information on custom options for our Tailored Prop series and trailers, visit our website, tailored.com. That's spelled Taylord.com.